So today was day 2 of TMS, and day probably 6,000 of this nightshirt. I know. It's I gotta change it, and it's probably just gonna walk off my body just from, just from being tired of being worn. Um, but believe it or not, I actually have two of the same exact nightshirt. Anyway, um, but so today was day 2, and I had a conversation with a woman at TMS, which I was talking to her about hormones because, as I had said earlier in the year, I decided to go on hormone replacement therapy because I thought maybe my depression was the way it was because of menopause. So they had put me on a low dose and it didn't do much. I'm still on that low dose, but I haven't, seen any sort of effect from it. And one doctor said they thought maybe an increase would help. Another doctor said, I don't know that it would help you at all. And so I didn't do anything. But then I was talking to the woman at TMS today, and she was talking about when she went through menopause, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I got on and made a huge difference for her." So I was like, "Okay, it can't hurt. I'll increase the dose. I can just do it for a few months, see if it helps, and if it doesn't help, I'll just drop down to the lower dose again. I'm gonna try to be careful because of the potential side effects, but I'll just do it for a few months just to see, just a trial run to see if it makes a difference." Because as I said before, my depression this time is not like it used to be. So like usually when I'm depressed, I have, you may have some ups and downs in the day, but like the way I am now is like I could be in a literal, genuine good mood, and then 2 hours later be so depressed I can hardly function, and it's up and down like that all day. And that's why, to me, I keep feeling like hormones have to have something to do with it. So anyway, I called my gynecologist. They called in a higher level, and I'll start that on Sunday. So I'm just kind of throwing everything at it just to see, what works. TMS typically takes several sessions before you feel a real difference, so I know that, and I'm patient with that. That's fine. And another thing I did today, I put up a birdhouse. So I've always wanted to have a birdhouse, and I found this little adorable birdhouse, and it was so cute. And I went to Petco and talked to the bird guy. I don't know anything about birds. And he was super nice and helped me with, figuring out like what bird seed to buy and what to do and all this stuff. And so I'm excited about that. It can be hard to get excited about pretty much anything when you're depressed. When you can, they say you lose interest in things you used to like or used to do, and that's true, or the thing that you used to love may not give you the kind of joy that it used to. You might still like it, but it might not feel the same. But I think I'm looking for, part of what I'm doing is looking for new things to give me joy. And it's not that I still don't love reading and love the things that I love, but I feel like, especially since I'm down, any little thing I can find that brings me some happiness, I go for it, So like, I put the little birdhouse out, and I've been checking all night for birds. I don't see any birds yet. I don't know how long it takes for the birds to show up, but anytime an animal's around, a bird, whatever, like that makes me happy. I'm feeding them, and it gives my cats something to look at. They'll be totally enamored of staring at the birds through the window. Don't worry, they're indoor cats. They won't get to them. So I'm excited about the birdhouse, Lately, I've just really been trying to embrace any little thing that, can even give me a moment of happiness. So I encourage you to do that. I've been doing those things like, buying the little dollar store pillow that was just bright and made me happy, like hanging out with my emotional support chicken, you know, like just do it. You're not hurting anybody. I'm finding like I'm almost regressing to being like a little kid, and I'm suddenly fascinated with really colorful, tacky stuff. Like if it's got sequins on it or rainbows or whatever, I'm like, yay, I think it's just my brain is seeking out anything to make it feel better, and those are things that, you know, there's a reason that people like bright colors, and those are associated with joy. So, hey, if I gotta, buy unicorn stickers or whatever, I'm just gonna do it. And I hope you do the same, and don't judge yourself if that's, something that makes you happy, really. Life is so short, and someone's got to buy the unicorn stickers. Um, so I also talked to my boss, that I'm gonna explain what was going on, and that I'm gonna have to stay out longer. And she's just so nice, and she said I want you to seek your joy. So I am seeking my joy. I really am. I want to take this time and use it to the best of my ability, that I can get what I can out of it, and really just focus on working on my mental health. So, anyway, I did want to know if you felt like sharing what are some little things that give you joy. Like, just, I don't know, little things, or maybe new things, something you're finding that you're have a new interest in that maybe you didn't have at one time. I find as I get older too, there's things that sure when I was younger I would have thought was really lame, and now I'm like excited about bird watching. So just I'd love to hear about the little things that bring you happiness.